Good evening. I'm Nithya and I'm here in Ohio NVT, that is Nithyananda Vedic Temple, where we conduct weight loss programs. We conduct weight loss programs in 3 places. One is Ohio NVT, and also in Los Angeles, and also in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, Sedona. So we have these 3 places, and I'm here to talk about the Vedic weight loss. We have been running a series of topics on this Vedic weight loss. And let me introduce what is Vedic weight loss. Means it is a wholesome weight loss program, and all the techniques in this are designed by Sri Paramahamsa Nithyananda, and we are all disciples of him. I am, like I said, I'm Ma Shivananda, yes, they call me here, and we are going to share the ideas, and it has worked. How we have designed this program, and it worked on people. People not only lost the weight, they also kept it, and you will be seeing in the participants' review about this program. So you will be hearing about how they liked it and all that. So that'll be, we'll be showing that anyway. But this week's series is called Nithya Yoga series, which is, we are going to use the yoga techniques to benefit from this program, how the weight loss can be helped by the Nithya Yoga. So I have an expert here, Ma Nithyananda Bodhana, who is a disciple, also a disciple of Sri Paramahamsa Nithyananda. And she has been practicing Nithya Yoga for how many years, Ma?
Gosh, since 2006, so
2006
years.
Before that, she also had a training in the Western Yoga for 500 hours. She was also practicing and teaching yoga. But when she met Swamiji, the whole thing, her concept about yoga changed. And I always like to hear that. I know you have told me several, but I like you to share it with the audience, how you met Swamiji before the yoga, how it was before you met Swamiji, and how it is after Swamiji. So let's have it from Nithyananda Bodhana.
Nithyanandam. One of the things that I'd like to share the most is that maybe if you've looked at Yoga Journal, or you get into these, you get heavily into the idea of yoga in the West, there's this idea that the more number of hours you spend in the practice, the better a yogi you'll be.
Yep.
And so you'll go to people and you'll say, oh, how many hours a day do you practice? How many hours a day? What happened for me over these years of practicing Nithya Yoga is that my actual asana practice is not as long, and yet the flexibility, the lightness I feel in the body, and the weight loss has all happened.
Wow.
Without that. So even now if I go to a yoga studio, people are saying and comparing, oh, I practiced 2 sessions a day, 2 hours each, that's 4 hours a day.
I see.
But the most amazing thing about Nithya Yoga is that there's a strong fulfillment concept, an energetic concept that happens. We add concepts of intention and visualization. I wanted to say a couple of words about this. I took the Nithya Yoga to one of the prisons, the women's prison. I worked with these women prisoners, and we worked so heavily on these 2 aspects, the intention and the visualization. And you can't believe that in only practicing twice a week, 1 hour each time, these women had the most dramatic, remarkable changes in their disease processes and in their mental setups. They were very gung-ho about the program, and
Wow.
it was a place where we could really see the changes directly.
Wow.
So I saw firsthand in my own body with these women and with all people that by adding just a few different components, the whole idea of yoga, how we go about it, can change your life.
Wow. So that's very interesting, because usually in the West, we think that yoga, means it's only for skinny people who are thin and who are already flexible.
Right.
Then I say, if you're already flexible, why do you need yoga? But yoga that's what misunderstood in the West.
Exactly.
So I have seen in our Nithya Yoga classes very heavy set people, And they even, we call it as chair yoga, they even sit and then slowly they develop, and we give them visualization.
Right.
So which helps them. So like I said in this webinar, our Vedic weight loss program not only works with Nithya yoga, it is mind, body and spirit. Like I said, it works on 3 ways. That's why it stays, even after you lose the weight, it continuously stays with you, because the whole system is worked on. Your mind is worked on. You're not going to give up on your yoga practices. So it really is amazing how this Vedic weight loss works, and we have seen several great results from it. So Amma, Bodhana, so this weight loss, does it work, and does it work with the chakras? You know, I'm sure audience will be wanting to know.
Right.
So we are going to be doing in this Nithya Yoga series. Can you explain a little bit?
So this is another, I think, a shift from the way the West has looked at yoga. The West sees yoga as a practice. You go to your mat and you do it. Then you get off the mat and you do your daily life. But a strong component of our program is working with the energetic centers, the 7 chakras. See, when we work with the chakras, we're working so much on the emotional layer of the body, but that actually adds weight. Swamiji has actually said that even our thoughts have weight. So if we're having all these thoughts, especially if they're negative thoughts, if we're so weighed down with worry, with stress, you know, and whatever that addiction is of wanting to eat, this actually all adds weight.
Wow.
And I can say also inflexibility in some people. That's why it's so beautiful that Nithya Yoga is not just about doing this exercise on the mat. When we literally are working with these engrams or samskaras, Ma Shivananda is going to go into that later, we're removing other layers from our body so that the body actually does become more flexible and finds the weight balance that it wants. So what I've seen in my own practice is I can be doing less and less asanas and getting more and more flexible and finding that balance in the weight. And this is the beauty of Nithya Yoga.
And recently you're teaching Nithya Yoga to the senior club. So Nithya Yoga can be practiced by all ages.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it.
I have an 87-year-old woman in my class.
Wow.
I have many others now. These people may have knee replacements, you know, arthritic hips, but we are able as teachers to find a way to work with everyone. We actually had a woman who was so sick attending a class she couldn't do the work. But this whole idea of visualizing asanas, you can literally sit there and visualize the asana through the whole class and come out feeling like you've done a yoga practice.
Oh, wonderful. See, that reminds me, I recently saw Dr. Oz's program on the television. And he always, you know, it's a very good show, and he is talking about weight loss mostly. And they introduced a pill called raspberry pill. So what it does is, they said, if you take that pill, no matter how heavy you are, and it'll make you feel lighter. So the idea is, if you start feeling lighter, it'll be the first step for weight loss. Then your body will start working towards it. And that was really awakening for me. So I said, wow, this, you don't have to take a pill, or Nithya Yoga will do it.
Yes.
We will make them feel light by visualizing it.
Right.
So this is where this works good for us.
Right.
So
Swamiji also had talked about that we don't have to go by the charts and say we have to have this weight. The idea should be where we're comfortable in the body. Are we feeling light? Are we able to perform? Do we have energy? These are what we're looking for, not by the scale of, you know, this particular weight.
Right, right.
So didn't you tell me that after that first weight loss program, the participants didn't talk so much about the weight they lost, they talked about how good they felt.
Oh yes, and they got compliments, you know, even now, as one of the participants, she says that she is getting compliments. This is about a year ago she did.
Yeah.
She says, what have you been doing, you know, because we do give certain practices that they could take it with them, and then they can continue, and then we give them guidance also. So this is really great, you know, that's probably why they, you know, they come back to us again and again.
Now, one other thing I want to say is, Ma Shivananda, don't you also do Surya Namaskars in the morning?
Yes, I do.
So a lot of the disciples of Swamiji do a practice in the morning of Surya Namaskar. And I think a lot of us have had that feeling of lightness while we're doing it.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. In one of the practices in the morning, we do Surya Namaskar. You could go from 12 sets to 108. 12 sets to 108 or 54 sets. So some people do it more. Whoever according to your you can start with just by 6 sets. So it has been a great practice, and a lot of us here do it, and it makes the body very light, feel light and everything. And with the intention, we start Nithya Yoga sessions in the morning with the intention. The weight loss program, what we have starts with the morning rituals. You get up and you freshen up your mind, and then you start the Nithya Yoga. So it really sets up the intention for the day, for the whole day. So so what will be covering? Could you tell the audience that what are we covering in this session?
Yeah, so after this introduction, then we'd like to have a section talking about Nithya Yoga itself and how it interfaces with weight loss. And then we'll have a section on 3 main chakras. Out of the 7, which 3 mostly are connected and have something to do with, if we want to call it addictive eating, or why we're not finding that balance point in weight. And then we'd like to go into a 40-minute yoga practice, Nithya Yoga practice.
Oh, I'm excited to see that.
Followed by a Kriya. And this Kriya is something Swamiji designed and gave, and I want to save it as a little surprise, the one that we chose for the class. So
could you just explain what a Kriya means first?
So interesting, in my yoga training we read this book called Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is one of the earliest sources on yoga. I was surprised as a student quite a few years ago to find out that there's some whole aspect of the yoga tradition called Kriya, which means cleansing, a practice. And that these kriyas were an integral part of a practicing yogi from India. Whereas in the West we don't know the word and we don't even do these practices. So Swamiji has designed, he's given us many kriyas, which is a combination of asana and breath, pranayama, and sometimes a mudra, sometimes maybe some mantra or sound. Each of these is designed to help cure and care for a specific ailment in the body, such as diabetes. In fact, one of our webinars is on diabetes. So we'll be offering that Kriya, and then we'll have a question and answer session.